Ever notice how a simple, "we need to talk," can feel like a punch to the gut? Yeah, me too. No worries, I'm going to help you to master the art of tough talks with this one powerfully effective technique. We've all been there, dodging difficult conversations we'd rather not have. Why? Fear? Discomfort? The sheer terror of vulnerability? Yes to all of those. But unfortunately, avoiding these talks does not make our problems vanish. And if anything, it's like ignoring a leaking faucet and hoping your house won't flood. We need to have tough talks, not for the sheer masochistic joy of it, but because it helps to create better emotional bonds with people. Plus, tough talks are a way to set boundaries and demand self-respect with high conflict people so we can enjoy more peace. With all this in mind, I'm excited to share a terrific communication technique which will help you to have those tough talks without them blowing up in your face. Hi, I'm Karen Salmansohn, a leading behavioral change expert and a best-selling author and entrepreneur with 2 million books and courses sold. I'm also the founder of the therapist-recommended online course, Manage and Avoid Drama Llamas, which shares a range of techniques to tame those drama llamas in your life. Okay, so first up, I'm going to share the 7 main reasons why difficult conversations fail. Then afterwards, I'm going to share the one simple communication technique, which will resolve all 7 out of 7 of these. So here are the 7 main reasons why difficult conversations fail. Defensiveness, emotionally charged language, bringing up past issues, avoidance or stonewalling, lack of active listening, invalidating feelings, and making assumptions. So if right now you need to have a difficult conversation and you want to keep it from going off the rails, here's the one thing you gotta do so you make sure you avoid those 7 issues. I suggest that you cook up and serve them your complaint hidden inside a nice big yummy compliment sandwich. I call it a compliment sandwich because you start with a yummy compliment, then you slip in the meat of what's on your mind, then you end with a yummy compliment. When you feed them a big yummy compliment sandwich, you get to hide the bitter, unpleasant flavor of the complaint meat because you're masking it with the yumminess of the compliments, which then makes the complaint meat taste a lot better. Here's an example of a compliment sandwich. First, you start with the compliment bread with a little bit of sweet relish. You know, all those things that you relish about the person, things that you appreciate about them, respect about them, love about them. There's always something you can find. Here's an example. I really adore your big heart and fun sense of humor. You really make me laugh, and I want to have a loving and happy relationship with you. Next up, here's where you add in the bitter complaint meat, the meat of the issue. Make it a small slice of meat compared to the thick bread of compliment. In fact, if this were a real sandwich, you'd probably complain to the restaurant about how little meat was in the sandwich. That's how little actual complaint meat I want you to put into the compliment sandwich. Here's an example. Sometimes your jokes really feel mean and hurtful, and I feel like you're using humor as a cover-up for insulting me. Okay, after you've put in the complaint meat, lastly, end with another big slice of a yummy compliment and maybe slather on a little more of that sweet relish where you remind them that you appreciate them and you really want to work on the relationship so it succeeds. Here's an example. I know you have a big heart and care about me and care about people. I'm bringing this up so you'll know how I feel when you tease me because you might not know, and I really want us to have the best relationship. Okay, now here is why a compliment sandwich works on all 7 of those 7 issues. I'm going to go through them one by one. A compliment sandwich helps with defensiveness because when you start with a genuine compliment, it's like knocking on someone's front door with a bouquet of flowers rather than banging on their walls with a sledgehammer. It's simple psychology. When people feel valued and acknowledged, you weaken their armor and make room for open dialogue. A compliment sandwich also helps to reduce emotionally charged language. Ever smiled at someone and they smile back? That's an example of positive priming. You primed them to act positively towards you. Similarly, when you start a chat with a compliment, it's like passing the person a positivity ball. And more often than not, they'll volley the positivity ball back to you, and you'll both be more likely to keep the positive ball in the air. Plus, when you start with a positive compliment, you're using positive priming on yourself too. You're nudging yourself to continue to talk in a more positive way. A compliment sandwich also helps to reduce the temptation to bring up past issues. The beauty of the compliment sandwich is its laser focus on the meat inside of the sandwich, the beef that you have with that person. So instead of opening up a Pandora's box of past grievances, you're just shining a spotlight on that meat. A compliment sandwich also helps to reduce avoidance or stonewalling because it works sort of like a quick positive teaser trailer, you know, how they have for the movies. The person hears the compliment and they become excited to hear more. So suddenly they're all ears. And because they want to hear more, this will motivate them to avoid wanting to avoid you. A compliment sandwich also helps to improve active listening. In our current chaotic world of constant pings and notifications, true listening is rare. But when you start with a compliment, you start with a powerful headliner act that promotes active listening. Plus, by initiating your talk with a nod to something good about them, you're sending them the message, hey, I've noticed something wonderful about you. I'm dialed into you. I see the good in you. And so they view you as an active listener. And thereby they're thinking, hey, you're listening to me. I'll listen to you. A compliment sandwich also helps the other person to feel like you're not going to invalidate their feelings. It creates a safe space. When you kick off with a positive something and then you wrap up with another positive something, you're essentially showing the person that you are able to see their worth and that you're open to seeing their worth. And then you're indirectly signaling that you're also open to tuning into their feelings, to tune into their perspective. It's showing that you have a holistic lens on them. A compliment sandwich also stops you from making assumptions. Think of it as a precision tool. You know exactly what you need to say. Compliment, sliver of beef that you have with them, compliment. It keeps everything in a nice, tiny framework. And so this method stops you from making broad and unhelpful assumptions and urges you to focus on the exact issue at hand. All right, you've got the compliment sandwich down, but I've got more tools in the menu to help you manage and avoid high conflict people. I'm offering you a free video training at my site, a tool that will disarm toxic people like narcissists, liars, passive-aggressive personalities, and all kinds of high conflict people. So head on over, there's a link down below, and that will take you to this free video training. Once again, I'm Karen Salmansohn, a leading behavioral change expert. Thanks so much for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please press that like button and subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing. And I love creating these videos to help make sure you live a life you love. And if you want even more information on how to manage and avoid drama llamas, Check out my entire course. You'll learn how to keep drama llamas in check in under 10 minutes a day.